have been hunting feverishly for nigh on 90 minutes, trying to get numbers from various municipalities on
That's some good numbers.
shootings, etc.
Well, it's not good numbers.
I know what you mean. News Radio 7's in Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, and way over yonder, the brains of the outfit, the one and only Matt Parker. So let us begin this segment with the stories. 2 more shootings in Shreveport last night.
Yeah.
As our, he said, with some degree of tongue-in-cheek, our stellar year of gunplay continues.
We're lucky we're not talking about another murder. It's really truthful.
Well, read the story because I am not fascinated, but well, go ahead and I'll comment.
2 shootings in Shreveport. The first was on Mohawk Trail, about 7. The victim suffered a non-life-threatening wound to the head.
Okay, stop right there. Pardon me. If you are in, there's no other way to describe this. If you're in a gunfight, there, Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
If you're in a gunfight there, Huckleberry, and you get shot in the head, and it is a non-life-threatening wound, you're the luckiest man in the world.
Yeah.
You're the luckiest person on the planet. And if that isn't some sort of alarm, some sort of wake-up call, some sort of Saul on the road to Damascus flash of light moment, if you don't look in the mirror and say, you know, I mean, look at you and your life. Everything that happens to you, every little thing that happens to you is, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way at all. You are always looking for messages from God, answers to your prayers, things that happen in your daily life that give you some sort of not only meaning, but purpose and insight and an answer to your prayers.
You get shot in the head,
this
you survive.
Guy takes a bullet to the head.
And he's okay.
And it's a non-life-threatening wound.
Man.
Do you think this will be that wake-up call for him? Do you think the alarm...
It's come to Jesus time.
Do you think the alarm's going to go off?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to, if he's hospitalized...
I hope it goes off.
And he looks in the mirror and says, you know, I'm the luckiest man on the planet.
Dude, you're not a cat. You don't got 9 lives.
I need to turn things around. I need to change my ways. I give me a percentage. Not if it were you. I'm thinking maybe 40% chance.
That he turns his life around?
Yeah. Look, we talked about this also.
I hope it's higher.
We have created, society has created, government has created, we as a society have created this, I'm not going to say subculture because it's too big to be sub, under, it's an alternative culture, an alternative. I always talk about the Eloi and the Morlocks in the time machine. You've got the Eloi who live above ground, and they're just happy and peaceful and not bothering anybody. And then you've got the Morlocks.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, we have created as a society, you can say government has, because those are the people that we've elected. So we, I mean, collectively are certainly to blame. We've collected this, created this alternative culture where when you don't get your way, where something goes the least little bit wrong, when you don't get what you want immediately, that your first reaction is to kill somebody.
Yeah.
That when you don't get what you want right away, that your first reaction is to become a cold-blooded killer.
Right.
And you've got the numbers. You have numbers in front of you.
Right.
That bear out, that back up everything I just said. The number of people in our society. Look, let me ask you, of all the people you know, of all your friends, of all your acquaintances, and I know the answer to this is going to be 0.
It's 0.
How many people do you know that are your friends, acquaintances, family members who, when they don't get their own way,
they pull a gun and start shooting?
Not even that.
Start punching.
Look at how many people, their first reaction when they don't get their own way is to hit, push, yell, scream, bite.
They have no coping skills.
And shoot.
It really is sad. Did a little checking, but by the grace of God, we could be talking about a murder today in that case. And so I was tracking down some numbers.
He's the luckiest guy in the world.
Shreveport we're still at 27 murders so far for the year. That's one shy of last year's number of 28. So it puts us on pace to go over 40.
And it's mid-August.
Yeah. Now, Chicago is the one city where the murder rate has continued to skyrocket over the past few years. So far this year, there have been 445 murders in the Windy City.
How many shootings? Do you have that number?
No, I'm not doing that. It's too much. But let me compare that to last year.
Go ahead.
468 murders in Chicago.
Yeah.
For all of last year. So they'll top that number.
And this is like with some of the toughest gun control laws in America.
Let's move to St. Louis, which is considered one of the most dangerous cities in the country. They've recorded 121 murders so far this year. They'll probably not get to the level they were at last year, 188. Let's go closer to home. Let's check Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge has recorded 24 murders this year, but the number is actually 34 if you include all of East Baton Rouge Parish. Last year, there were 71 murders in Baton Rouge, so Baton Rouge is doing a really good job of limiting their murder rates. New Orleans, 100 murders so far this year. Last year, there were 164. Jackson, Mississippi, 35 murders so far this year, far surpassing already 31 from last year. And Little Rock, 16 murders so far this year, 28 all of them.
You know, there's that old joke, and it's about the guy in the flood, and he's praying to God, because he's on the roof of his house. He's praying to God to be saved, and the helicopter comes, and the boat comes. No, I'm waiting on God to save me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he eventually drowns, and he goes to heaven, and God says, I sent you a boat.
Yeah.
If you take a bullet to the head, and all that happens is you need a couple of ibuprofen, God may have sent you a boat.